What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be going over a trading update as well as an overall market update. Also, we're going to talk about some different stocks that I'm watching for the rest of this month in October in 2018. So for those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Stas, and I make videos dealing with swing trading, day trading, long-term investing, and my personal philosophies and strategies when it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market. So for those of you guys that want to learn more about that, the stock market, trading, investing, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and give me a follow on Instagram and Twitter if you guys want to, and join our Discord group chat as well as our Facebook group. That's the best places. Those two places are the best place to get in contact with me as well as a bunch of other members that are actively speaking, on a day-to-day basis about stocks, trading, stock news, strategies throughout the whole entire day. So all of those are linked down below in the description box. And now let's get started with the topic of today's video. So we're going to talk about the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the NASDAQ very quickly. So right now, as of about 2:20 p.m. with about an hour and 40 minutes left in the market, we notice the Dow Jones is down about 230 points, close to about minus 1% for the day right now. So what we were talking about in yesterday's video, guys, in terms of this channel here, we noticed that the Dow Jones in particular is making lower lows as well as lower highs. So what that means is that it's pushing lower than the previous low, right? We noticed that here, pushed lower than the previous low, and then we popped up, we had a green day, but that high wasn't as high as the previous high. So that means that's a lower high. So we've been in that downwards trending pattern, for the past couple of trading days. So what I was expecting yesterday is either today we were going to break out of this channel and have another green day, which would be a very good sign that the markets are slowly starting to reverse, or we're going to have a red day, which means that this channel is still valid. And what did we have today, guys? We pretty much opened up red, pushed down to a lower low, which is a previous low, or it's lower than the previous low that we see here, and now we're pushing up and we failed to get above the previous high. So another lower high has been made as well as a lower low, meaning that the Dow Jones is still downtrending right now, right? And it's continuing in this channel. And if we look on the 1-day, 1-minute chart, like I said, right, big sell-off, little pushback, little resurgence in the Dow Jones. Now we're seeing a sell-off again with a little double top here. This one's a little bit lower, another lower high made at about 24.90 or 24.900, here at about 24.800, and now we're pushing below the 180 SMA. So my prediction here, guys, with about an hour and 30 minutes left, is that we're going to close somewhere around here in terms of the Dow Jones. Now, if we're looking back to the, the S&P 500 very quickly, down about $42, down about 1.5%. And same thing as the Dow Jones here, guys. We're pushing down, making lower lows, making lower highs, and the same thing is happening today, meaning the S&P 500 is in that same exact channel. And if we look over to the NASDAQ, pretty much the same thing here, right, guys? We're noticing lower lows, lower highs rather, and it's continuing to push down. So the markets as a whole right now, they're selling off, they are downtrending in price. So now to quickly talk about what trades I personally made today. Only two trades today, guys. One in DGAS and then one in DRIP. And DRIP was a profitable trade, and DGAS, I ended up stop lossing out of it and not re-entering into that position. So to talk about the DGAS one very quickly, so I can talk about my ideology behind this particular position. And, just to quickly get into it, yesterday we noticed that DGAS sold off to about $14.10 roughly, right? We noticed it popped up here to about $15. Yesterday we sold off all the way to $14, opening up that margin of profit in terms of DGAS from about $14 back up to about $15. So that was a good sign in terms of me understanding the profit margin there and understanding that we're seeing the sell-off in DGAS opening up an opportunity for the next day, possibly, right? I always wait to see what's happening pre-market hours before determining my trades for the day. But in this particular situation, guys, like I said, sell off, and we closed on a little higher low here. The low here was at 1410-ish. Low here is at about 1425. And then we closed the day, on an upswing. We noticed that, right? 1410, 1425, closed the day at about 1470. So that was a very good sign. And, even heading into aftermarket hours, extended hours, DGAS continued to trend up. And then when we noticed, today, pre-market hours, DGAS was trending up still. We noticed it was at about $15.20. It held above the EMA line here at 15.15. We popped up all the way up to 15.75, and then we saw the pullback down to about 15.60. So this is actually when I ended up taking my position. I believe it was at about $15.80. I ended up taking a position as it bounced here, started to pull back up above the 50 SMA. I ended up taking a position right there, held through here, and then it ended up hitting my stop loss at about $15.65. I pretty much set my stop loss at this previous low point, which is about a 1% loss, I believe, from 15.66 up to about 15.80. Yeah, about a 1% loss. And remember, guys, I'm more of a conservative trader. I'm all about conserving my capital, and especially on these leveraged ETFs that are 3x, 2x leveraged ETFs. These are very volatile. They tend to swing up, tend to swing down very quickly, and I like having a very tight stop loss on these. Just imagine if I didn't have my stop loss, guys. I was in at 15.80. I would be down a good chunk on my money right now. 15.80 all the way down to about 14.90. That's a 6% drop. I would be down much more than if I would have just set a stop loss, right? So that's a 1% loss versus a 6% loss. So that was my loss on the day in terms of DGAS. And then I got into DRIP as a very quick day trade. Same ideology here, guys. We noticed we ended off the day yesterday on an upswing. Very nice recovery. It looked like it was recovering to close off the day yesterday. Pre-market hours today, we were pushing up in terms of DRIP. We opened up, shot up to about 928. We held above the 50 SMA here, started to curl back up here, shot up all the way to about $9.45, and I believe I got in initially on DRIP. Actually, no, wait, I got in at $9.13. Yeah, that's when I ended up getting in. I got in on this pullback, the hold above the 50 SMA, and then we popped up to about 913, took an initial position here, we rode it back up a little bit, took another initial position here, or another position at about $9.35, pulled back, held through this. We shot up to about 955. I held through this as well. Then ended up taking my profits as we broke below this 50 SMA. So not a very big trade in terms of margin. I believe my average position was at about like 918, I believe. So this was only like a 2 to 3% trade, right? But that covered my my loss on DGAS, and I ended up ending off the day with about a 1.5% profit. Nothing too crazy, guys. I missed my goal today in terms of profit, but on Fridays, guys, I tend not to push it too much. I don't like holding these ETFs over the weekend, and I'm typically just taking my profits on Friday and just waiting until Sunday night to see what the futures are looking like in Monday pre-market hours before trading these leveraged ETFs again. And in terms of stocks, guys, like big large cap stocks, I don't mind holding those over the weekend, but ETFs like this, DRIP, DGAS, I want to take my profits off the board before, holding over the weekend. So in terms of other stocks and ETFs that I'm watching to finish off October and heading into next week's trading week, we're mostly going to be looking at these market ETFs. These have been absolutely great plays due to the massive volatility that we've been seeing in the overall markets. And these are stocks, or these are ETFs rather, that trade based upon the overall market. So if the markets are going up in price, TQQQ or TQQQ as well as QQQ are going to be going up in price, and they're going to be very good plays. But if the markets are going down in price, they're in a bearish phase like we are in right now, TVIX and UVXY are going to be fantastic plays. So, next week, guys, based on how the overall market is going to be looking like, and, based on what we're seeing now, like I mentioned earlier on in today's video, we could potentially open up next week red to push down to a lower low if we're continuing this trend line, if we're continuing this channel that we've been in over the past couple of weeks, meaning that TVIX is going to be a very great play. We already see it reversing now due to the market selling off again. And, there is some pretty good margin for profit. Let's say we close today at about $55, $56. Monday we open up. We're seeing the futures are down. We're seeing that the markets are looking to be red for that day. We could hop in at $56, $57 depending on where it is pre-market hours. And this is all for an example, guys. Not saying that this is going to happen. I'm saying that this is just an example, right? Let's say, on Monday we wake up. The markets seem like they're going to be down for that day. We could enter in TVIX at about $57 and up to about $59, $60. That's 5% profit. And if it continues downtrending in price, the whole markets as a whole, right? If they continue to downtrend in price, this one's going to continue to push up in price, making higher highs, making higher lows, and it's going to end up being a very nice play. So I'm going to be watching these market ETFs very closely this upcoming week. And in terms of overall stocks, guys, we're still in earnings season. A bunch of stocks are reporting their earnings. We saw Amazon and Google, they reported their earnings. We saw AMD and Tesla. A bunch of other big companies have already reported their earnings. I'm personally in PayPal and Microsoft as of now as my large cap swing trades, and I am looking to add more money into those next week. But in terms of, other stocks, I'm not really looking at any other stocks as of now in terms of swing trades until the other large cap companies report their earnings. I'm interested in what Apple's reporting, Facebook, and we already saw Amazon, we already saw Google, we already saw Netflix. So, I still want to see Apple and Facebook before potentially swinging those in my swing account. But, in terms of other stocks, not really looking at too much else right now. But in terms of inverse ETFs, guys, LABD has been an absolutely great play over the past couple of, weeks due to the market selling off. This is a S&P Biotechnology ETF, and there's an industry ETF, S&P Industry ETF, Biotechnology ETF that, goes down in price, obviously, as the markets are going down in price. So since the markets have been selling off, it's been sending down this S&P Biotechnology ETF, which has been sending up LABD. So LABD is going to be on my radar, guys, especially at this dip it's at now at about $37 with a margin of profit of about 15%. This one could be a very good play on Monday and the whole next week if we end up opening up red in the markets on Monday. So LABD, guys, DRIP, I'm going to be watching very closely because, when the markets are selling off, this one's very good as well, as we've seen over the past couple of, weeks. So, DRIP, LABD, UGAZ, and DGAZ, those are going to be on my radar, as well as JNUG and JDST. I don't know why JDST isn't on this ETF list, but that's it for today's video. I hope you guys had a fantastic trading week, and I hope you all have a very good weekend. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter, guys. All the links are down below in the description box. And if you guys want to be in touch with me and the community throughout the trading day, join that Discord group and join that Facebook group. All of those are linked down below in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.